So as I was driving over here, I noticed that a lot of people are taking the emblems off their Teslas. Personally, I drive a Mercedes because I'd rather have my car engineered by real Nazis. I was also kind of perusing the homeless situation, and I was thinking how we all have kind of private rules for who we will and won't give money to, right? So for me, homeless person with an animal, preferably a dog. So I'm driving with my friend, and I said, pull over, pull over. There's a woman over there. She's got a dog and a blanket in her arms. I need to give her some money. Then as we get closer, I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, that's not a dog. That's a baby. Yeah, fuck it, keep going. I like these short sets because when you get to be my age, you want to make sure that you finish before you die. I also think that your dreams change as you age. When I was young, all I wanted was to win an Oscar. Now, all I want is to make it into the in memoriam section. You know, where all the celebrities look up at your name and your face and they say to themselves, wow, who the fuck is that? I'll tell you who doesn't care how old you are. Your dog. They don't care, right? But I love my dog, but I don't like when I'm walking him and somebody else is walking their dog and they walk right at you and they always do this thing where they go, don't worry, mine is friendly. Okay, I don't give a shit what yours is. My dog happens to be on the spectrum. And I know that because he won't make eye contact and he fucking loves anime. I also don't like when people come up and they say, oh, she's so pretty. And then they check underneath and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, he. Who are you apologizing to? My dog does not care if you misgender him. As I said, he has far bigger problems. So I lost my mom recently. I didn't lose her. I know exactly where she is. She's in Long Island, buried with the rest of the dead family members. But a lot of my family have Shakespearean quotes on their headstones. Not so much because we love Shakespeare, but more because we're just extremely pretentious. I didn't want to put anything religious on there because my mom didn't believe in God, and I think the reason for that is that she just couldn't handle the idea of anyone having more control over things than she did. So, also when you lose your mom, it's weird because you start to become her in the weirdest ways. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, if someone drops something 50 yards from me, I will just scream, oopsie! I am now incapable. Thank you. That's a new joke. I'm now incapable of taking a sip of a cold carbonated beverage without making the following sound. And I've started saying words like hoopla and ginormous. And I say hubby way too much for a gay woman. So the last week of my mom's life, she wanted to go and it wasn't happening in her time and she's very impatient. I was like, Mom, I don't know what to tell you. I cannot just shoot you. And then I realized we were in Florida. So I shot her. Okay, that's idiotic. Of course I didn't. It's not legal even in Florida. I took her to Texas and then I shot her. So I want to talk to you guys about something that's a little more universal, everybody can relate to. Being a gay, sober, single mom of 2 kids by donor insemination. Can I see some hands? Hands? No. So I was a real single mom, not the like we got divorced and I get every other weekend off kind, had them myself, sole support, had to be mom and dad. And you would think being a lesbian, I should have been able to handle some of the dad stuff, like at least teach them to fix things. But I have a very severe handicap in that area that keeps me from being able to do that. I'm Jewish. Also, I discovered that being a lesbian and being pregnant with a boy is very weird. I was kind of like, wow, this is the first time I have had a penis inside me since I quit drinking. So my kids now, they're adults and they kind of like to judge me, and so one of them called me a narcissist. And I was sort of like, okay, both my parents were narcissists. Somebody had to make it about me. They're also both straight. I don't know what I did wrong. I did everything I could to make them gay. I wouldn't let my daughter play with Barbies. I took my son to Broadway musicals. She marries a man, he joins a fantasy football league. I'm just so ashamed. And I lay there awake at night and I think, what is it that draws them to this heterosexual lifestyle? And when I ask them, they get very angry and they say, it's not like it's a choice, Mom. Yeah, right. Well, I'm hoping it's a phase. Thank you, guys.